So what they did, right? I'm going to go back to the books again here, right? There was a time in COVID, right? Once we started on TV together, this is just me looking at it from occasionally, or people mentioning it to me, and me looking at different. And I could be, and absolutely could be completely wrong here, but there was everybody's talking about demos and stuff, right? And then I'm looking at the actual difference every week of and I'm not looking too far into it because within a short period of time we're in COVID, right? And so it's like we're all lucky to be alive. And that's all I'm thinking. We got to keep things up. But I'm looking and I'm going, the difference seems to be, and again, this is just my brain at the time, whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. I'm looking and I'm going, this seems to be the difference is the amount of people that the Bucks have built their own audience up with their show that they put on YouTube. I don't know if anybody else has ever thought that or mentions that, and I don't know if it's anywhere close to being right. But there was like used to be a 200 and something thousand difference in whatever demographic, right?
Right.
And I used to think, is that because I saw them building up their brands and other people, something else that people might not like, but they were the ones who did that. And then there were people jumping on their band, whether they were just friends of theirs or whether they were jumping on it or whether they were just part of it. But there were people that were getting the rub off being on their show.
For sure. And All In was completely drew from being the Elite. All In was, plot lines and characters and everything.
Right. So I'm looking at that going, I wonder if people realize how much this is just my initial thoughts of this. I wonder if they realize how much they have those fellas to thank about this. So that's just my initial look at this. Like everybody else is claiming things here, but I'm going, yeah, they've all gone out and done the thing, but it's that show that sort of they've got their own sort of connection with people somehow, because I think there was definitely a lot of people watching. We're all watching the same stuff for most of the time, I think. Yeah. So again, I look at it from my brain and not a brain of trying to overanalyze things or overthink things or whatever it may be. I'm just looking at it from my point of view as an outsider. Again, I'd let other people take care of that. You're worrying about ratings. I can't change that. That's not. I need to know about them, but it's also somewhat wasted headspace for me because it's not my job to make that change. My job is to get talent in here and then help the talent that are put into the creative. I don't do the creative. I used to sit in it before it became when I came back in 2019, I didn't sit in on creative anymore. And when I did sit in on creative, it was just Triple H, one writer, different people, and then a couple of different writers, and him and them coming up with stuff, and me just being a sounding board, going, hang on, what about that? Oh yeah, okay, but not. I know I'm no good at creative, right? So I was just there. But once I came back, it was, look, I've only got so much in me now, and I need to focus on doing my job, because that again is another thing that is wasted. It's like if you're trying to put all this stuff together, and then I come in and start going, hang on a minute, that can be very frustrating for anybody who's sat and trying to put this together all week. So I thought by then there was Sean and there was Brian James in there, two very capable and very strong voices. They don't need me as a soundboard anymore. So it was more that I could go and wander around the PC and see that somebody needed cheering up that day, or that hear that they got a problem, and go and take care of that kind of thing. Because I only got so much time, I can do so many things, or make sure the coaches are okay, or make sure that everybody's, because that was another thing that I was for everybody there was everybody's, and Robbie Brookside's the same. right? With everybody's uncle, aunt, especially Robbie's different to me because some unfortunate, not unfortunate, but some people sort of kept, because of the position I didn't do it. Robbie has to look after a lot of people, everything, but I'm still part of that. And with everybody else, uncle, auntie, agony aunt, shoulder to cry on,
right?
Which is all, you can't just blow people off when you've got to do that, right? It's real things
it's my life, man. Every single day, that's my life.
It's my right, and you've got to take care of people, and it's all time consuming. So I just used to look at those little things like that and go, oh, I wonder if that's their audience that they've built up, and then the rest is people going back again. And people can tell me all the stats they want. This is just my view of what was going on at the time in my head, because I'm having to deal with a lot going on in my life.
Let me ask you this. You talked about people forget what NXT was. Now, I have a 19-year-old son, and we went to all these wrestling events. We did not miss a Brooklyn takeover, sir. We did not miss Dallas takeover. And the most special show we ever went to, ever, to this day, our favorite show ever, was NXT San Jose, which was the first big show you guys ever did at 10 o'clock at night. And it was just this amazing scene. And when you look at AEW now, the fan base, the wrestling, the reactions, how big of an influence was NXT on AEW?
I'd be foolish to say that it isn't very similar.